You know, it's gonna be hard for me to get through this episode because like it's hard. Like they're not losing games, and there's nothing to say anymore. It's just like this is really cool. It's really really cool. It's really really cool. So this will probably be a short episode because there's not much to pick apart. Like Quickley is unbelievable. This Knicks team is unbelievable. And I think they've got a chance to do something special. I don't know. Obviously, none of us know, but playoffs are a different animal. But like, if they were to do something special, I don't think it'd be that shocking anymore. Jesus Christ. Let's talk. Let's just get into it. Let's get to the intro. Ep 488. Welcome to BD4, an RJ Carbone podcast. BD4, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. BD4 is a 5-star show on Apple Podcasts, also available in video format on YouTube and Spotify. So thanks for stopping by, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Champion of the world, turning, looking, see ya!
Anthony for three, bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied!
Time! Penetrates, creates, and showing some dexterity as well with the left hand.
Yankees win!
Jesus, man. This is a ride. It's a ride. It's fun. It's really good. And I'm trying to soak it in day by day and not think too far ahead, but it's hard to not. Last night was unbelievable. You had the powerhouse of the East going up against the Boston Celtics. Am I wrong? I mean, this was by far, though, jokes aside, the game of the year for the NBA. You can't. It was on national television. It worked out perfectly. The two pioneers of the league, classic rival, giving you a hell of a battle for a few hours on national TV on ESPN. And I need to stop running my mouth, because this is just amazing at this point. Like I thought the statement win came last week against Boston. But come on, I mean this last night's win made that game look like peanuts. That game feels like it's far in the past and it's some exhibition. That last night's game was unbelievable. I mean, I don't know how to feel 5 games later, whatever we are. Like, that was truly something. It was truly something. This is going to make this episode very difficult for me because I don't know what to say. It's taking words out my mouth and it's all just mush. All I'm thinking of is just the Knicks pulled that out. That was a hell of a game. A lot of shit went down, and the Knicks pulled it out. I do not know what the fuck to say. But the Knicks have went into the thing was the Knicks went into this one with already 2 wins over Boston. Right? They again had their big, what we thought was this is us, we are real game against them last week. And so this game I was looking at it as just a house money bonus game. Because you were without your anchor, Jalen Brunson. And you have to go on the road against the second best team in the conference and the reigning conference champions and arguably the best team in the NBA, if you want to make that case. Like, this is a really good team. And you had to figure that with last week on their mind, whenever that game was, that they were going to come out for revenge. Right? But here we are. And the Knicks on national TV last night just took them to double overtime in their own home in a game where both Tatum and Brown combined for damn near 70 points, but none of that mattered. So I promise, and I really do promise that I'll no longer make the mistake of penciling in certain games as a potential loss. Because I'm not going to lie, I expected the Knicks to lose this one. I did. I figured there would be a possibility that the Celtics win and maybe even win by, 10 or so points. Because I don't learn. I don't learn. I don't learn. So, once again, this win was somehow, some way, incredibly their most impressive and biggest win of the year, no question. It's funny because we've said that so much over the last month or so. So I guess this is their actual statement win. It's got to be it. It's their statement win. It's in front of the world. No Brunson again. The Celtics are with their superstars this time, so they can't use that excuse. And here they are, the Knicks, doing what they just did. Jesus Christ, was it the one? It was the one. I'll try to recap some of it. I got a little bit down on my notes, but right out the gate, the Knicks in this game, they come out looking like they're going to give it a battle. Right? I mean, literally right away, the Knicks win the tip, and it's Quickley, confident as ever, from above the break with this 28-29 footer to start the night, knocking down a triple. Then you got RJ Barrett getting hot. He puts the Knicks up 12-6 a little later in the period. Randle starts mixing in some buckets as well. A couple of his early three-point balls fall again. Little fadeaway. He's got the mid-range jumper. Randle and RJ Barrett combined for 24 of the Knicks' 31 first-quarter points. The Knicks, though, they did have some trouble early stopping Jason Tatum, who finished the first quarter with 16 of his 40. Few open threes off of some good screening from Boston. A lot of free throws in there from Tatum, and the Celtics led by 3 after 1. Second quarter, the game remained tight in the second quarter with some good defense and some pretty even keel offense from both sides. The Knicks, though, they were up in the second quarter late in the half. But then, this was more the first half than it was the second half. Bad rebounding for the Knicks, not boxing out, allowing these offensive boards, some bad fouls, some turnovers, just giving Boston extra possessions to capitalize. And that was one of the few spans in the game where they really did capitalize off the extra opportunities the Knicks gave them. And they go on this big 11-0 run. Tatum's cooking. And they enter the half 61-54 up. And Tatum's got 19 at the time. Third quarter comes. Kind of got ugly before it got better, honestly. The Celtics starters get off to another hot start. Julius gets the offensive foul. Then he gets the tech arguing about the foul. The fake garden's going wild. I start to mute the TV because I can't hear these rednecks cheer. The Celtic bench checks in, and they start making quick impact. Hauser, these other guys, Williams, great three-point shooting in the period, and excellent ball movement from Boston, kind of hurting the Knicks defense. And so they go up double figures with about 4 minutes and change to go in the third. But the Knicks finally get their run, which they didn't really have yet at the time in this game. Most of the game up to that point, late third quarter, was the Knicks being right there, but just a step behind because they didn't have their moment yet. But that was when their moment happened. And it's Immanuel Quickley, last night's hero, with a massive 38 points, who we'll talk about. He starts making highlight play after highlight play, and on both sides of the ball. Steals, blocks, three-point shots, floaters, and one highlights. Some nice passing in there. And he leads the Knicks on this monstrous 23-5 run from the final minutes of the third quarter up until the 8 minutes mark in the fourth quarter. In there, in between, you have Randle making that corner three, falling to his right again at the buzzer, basically repeating what he did in Miami at the buzzer in the third quarter. We'll call it the Randle special. And that puts the Knicks up 1. The fourth quarter comes, and by the end of that run, the Knicks are up 100-89 with about 8 minutes left. Of course, the Celtics don't go away, right? It's Tatum, it's Horford. It's Brown tying the game up with the and one at the 4 minute mark in the fourth quarter. the game remains tied for a few more minutes until the Knicks get hot again. And once again, it's Quickley making big plays. On one possession, he attacks a closeout from Brown, gets into the paint, throws up a floater off of Marcus Smart, who probably makes contact with him, but of course it wasn't called. And it's kind of what starts this 7-0 run for the Knicks. And that's capped off once Randle connects on that step-back triple. And they've got this pretty comforting at the time, you'd think, pretty comforting, 111-104 lead with under a minute and a half to go. So all they had to do was milk the clock a little and just play a little defense. But the Celtics are good, and they counter. You got a possession where Josh Hart cheats a little too far in to stump the drive, but Smart makes the read that Horford's open in the corner or on the elbow. An elbow three. He kicks it to Smart, and he knocks it down. A little later, Smart, with 19 seconds left in the game, he misses the three-point shot. But again, the Knicks couldn't capitalize and grab the rebound, and that hurt them. So the ball swings around the perimeter. The Knicks kind of scramble a bit on their rotations. You got an open three-pointer in the corner. That falls, and the Celtics come within 1 point with the final seconds about to tick. Then you had the take foul after, and it was Randle who knocks both of those free throws down. But then again, Jaylen Brown comes up with the big and one. And that possession was all on Quentin Grimes. There were just seconds left on the clock. You're ahead there. All you had to do was not give up a three and allow the 2-point shot to fall. That's all you had to do. If anything, just allow the two. But Grimes, under the rim, reaches in on Brown. Brown does a nice job of reacting to it. He goes up to convert the layup, gets the whistle, the shot drops, and then he eventually knocks down the free throw to tie the game. So with a few seconds left, the Knicks have the ball. They go ISO Randle again because, surprise, surprise, and he ends up coughing it up. Horrendous. Fortunately, there wasn't any time left on the clock for the Celtics to run a fast break, so the game ends up going to overtime at 113-113. And here we go. Overtime comes, and there's a lot of three-point shooting, some big defensive plays. Early on, Marcus Smart knocks down a triple, but then you have a possession where Mitch makes a great rotation to the basket, and he forces Tatum into a bad pass, turnover. Josh Hart knocks down a big triple the next time down off a Quickley driving kick. Get a bunch of foul shooting from both sides for a bit. A bad turnover from the Knicks where it goes off Hart and Thibodeau chooses not to challenge. Then Horford hits the three. They run Tatum off of this action. Mitchell Robinson bites. He gets caught overhelping again in the paint. So Horford knocks down the open triple. And then from there, the Celtics are up, I think, a 2-point lead with like 29, 30 seconds left. But then on the Knicks, on their final possession in the first overtime period, you've got Randle with the ball right above the break. I'm thinking great. But he did the right thing. He hands it off to Quickley, who turns the corner, drives middle, and flicks up another floater. The shot drops, and the Knicks tie it up. And I'm going nuts. I unmute the game at that point. Boston's got the ball, though, but they take way too much time off the clock to set up their action for Tatum. They give it to him with like 2.5 left. Tatum has RJ on him near the right wing. He drives to right, or he kind of spins off him to create separation. Mitch does a nice job stunting, sliding over. Tatum attacks, throws up a right hand at the buzzer. The shot misses. So we go to double overtime. And again, right out the gate, you got Quickley making an impact in OT number 2. He starts off with a 3-point bucket. A little later, he has that dunk in a wide open lane after a huge defensive breakdown from Boston. The Knicks go up 5 points. The next possession down, RJ fouls Smart, who knocks them both down. Smart eventually fouls out, which was very significant. So him and his flopping's out the game. Then once again for the Knicks, it's Quickley with a crunch time highlight at like the 2.5 minute mark. He comes off a screen, surveys, then he blows right by Grant Williams for the right-handed layup, and the Knicks are back up 5 points. The Celtics get a few more baskets from Tatum, but the Knicks knock down their free throws. You get Mitchell Robinson making another big stop, and then you get the shot clock violation from New York. And so with 10 seconds left in the game, the Knicks are up 2-point. Boston's got the ball with a chance to do some damage. Williams sets a high screen up top. Tatum's on the ball. He comes around and goes right. He's got Horford open in the right corner because Mitch is cheating off him a bit to stop the drive. So he makes that pass. And credit to Mitchell Robinson because he does a hell of a job recovering, makes his closeout, contests the shot without fouling, and Horford's shot bounces off the rim. The Knicks grab the board, buzzer sounds, and it's a victory. Just unbelievable basketball. The Knicks take their 9th in a row after that. 131-129 in double overtime over Boston on ESPN. Michael Wilbon's wrong again, and the Knicks win. And I was so happy because I hate Boston. I hate Boston sports. I hate Tom Brady. I hate the Boston Red Sox. I hate the Celtics. I hate the city of Boston. I hate those redneck fans who just suck. Only thing I like about Boston is Bill Burr. Everything else about Boston is just scum. Scum as I spit. So it felt great for me. It felt excellent for me to see those loser fans cry in their own building and get bitched by the Knicks, who actually play at the Garden. So the Knicks are now 39-27, 9 wins in a row, and they aren't stopping. I'm riding this. They got Charlotte next. You can afford to sit Brunson because who cares? The Knicks don't lose basketball. Knock on wood. Let's talk about it though. Let's talk. Let's get to our first break, and I want to talk about the guy that we all want to talk about tonight, Immanuel Quickley. Let's head to break real quick. Be right back. Hey guys, so if you are a listener of the podcast often and you want to know where to find me on social media, you can find me on Facebook at BD4. You can find me on Twitter at BD4Pod. And you can also find me on Instagram at Rob J. Carbone. All right, welcome back to the show. Welcome back. And I'm your host, RJ Carbone. I'm in shock, man. This team is crazy. Let's talk about Immanuel Quickley.
Bing bang.
It's going to be hard to do this and not forget, leave anything out because, again, so much happened. It's hard for me as, I'm my own producer. So, Immanuel Quickley last night, 38 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 15-28 shooting, 5-12 from 3. Only 1 turnover, only 1 foul, a steal, 2 blocks, and he did this all in 55 minutes. This game was 58 minutes long, and Quickley played in, again, 55 minutes and 6 seconds. He did not sit one time in the second half. Not 1 minute of rest in the third quarter, fourth quarter, OT1, and OT2. And I love that. I love it. Once again, it says everything about this team and their grit, their grind, right? Their grit and grind style. It says everything about them. They compete. They don't care about load management. You've heard Randle. They told you. Look who their coach is. They don't give a damn about that shit because they're young. They don't have a guy over 30. They've got 20-something-year-olds all in their rotation. They don't care. They're going to play because they want wins. They don't want rest. They want wins. All right? Now, Brunson, he's been playing banged up a lot of times this year. That was a decision, a business decision, and it ended up paying off. But very rarely will that guy sit a game, will Quickley sit a game, will Randle sit a game. Your top guys, RJ Barrett, I know he had the injury, but these guys are tough. These guys are tough. And this was Immanuel Quickley's coming out game on ESPN for the entire nation to see. The playoff atmosphere was there tonight, and Quickley thrived in it, solidifying himself, in my opinion, as the Knicks' third best player. And man, is he going to get paid this summer? You have to. He's eligible for the extension, and I think he should get it. He took on the point guard role all night last night. He had the on-ball responsibilities down the stretch. Randle deferred to him. I loved that. Making big plays Quickley was. Knocking down big shot after big shot. He's developing very rapidly. And remember, there was a conversation about this kid earlier in his career on whether or not he was good enough to play lead guard or if he should play off ball. That conversation's over. He's fearless. He wants the ball. He's got the confidence. He's always been a shooter and had that mentality. I mean, again, just look at the first shot of the night. The dude wants the ball in these big moments. But he's developed, man. He's learned to channel some of that style, that shooter's mentality, and play more under control and within the system as his career's progressed. And it's working to perfection right now. It's crazy, the contrast. My thoughts on him have just completely flipped from just earlier this year. So, I mean, he's going to be the first guy. I'm telling you, man. He's now gotten to a level where he's going to be the guy that other front offices will ask about when the Knicks go and pursue that superstar. Because his value is sky high right now. He just woke everybody up. He's making no money this year and no money next year currently. So they're going to ask about Quickley. But I say he's got to become one of those guys you hang on to now. You don't want to give him away. He's got to be close to that untouchable category. And again, I love that once we saw Julius, the Randle ISO shit wasn't working, that the Knicks put an emphasis on running offense through Quickley. Setting him up in some actions, coming off double screens at the top. Putting the ball in Josh Hart's hands in a little, for a little pick and roll to set Quickley up. He got the bulk of the shots down the stretch. Once the Randle shit got out of hand, it was Quickley. In the fourth quarter and in the 2 overtime periods, across 22 minutes, he goes for 17 points on 54%. I mean, he's out there tearing apart Tatum, Smart, if he was switched onto him, Derek White. Those 3 guys are very good, very savvy defensive weapons. Very good. But the way Quickley gets you, I mean, the way he can beat a closeout with his quickness and his shifty style and get into the paint so well and then find a way to create offense from there, it reminds me so much of the way Chris Paul used to score in his younger days. And I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying their style. He's developed so well, Like, you can see how he changes up and he knows what his role is going to be asked to be that day. He understands the situation, the matchup, the role. Every time he's asked to play as the starter, it feels like he's going out there and dropping 25-plus points. So I looked into the numbers. In 11 starts this year, he's averaging 19, 5, and 5. And I think after last night, I saw on Twitter that he's now become the betting favorite to win 6th Man of the Year. So fuck Malcolm Brogdon. But, he was also out there just doing his thing defensively, which nobody mentions. Let's not forget that. He's playing great defense. He clutched up on offense, but he locked it down. He's playing the pass lanes. He's blocking shots. He's rebounding. He's leading the fast break with his head up with Josh Hart once again. That second quarter, I love that second unit Tibbs ran with Quickley, Hart, and Obi leading the fast break, playing transition offense. Great offense. And Quickley was a big part of that. He was electric. He was so electric last night that we got great games from RJ Barrett, and that one overlooked, right? RJ was important because in the first quarter, he set the tone. He made this a competitive game going forward because of his big first quarter. RJ finished with 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists. Shot the ball well, but no one's talking about it because Quickley has been so good. Randle, 31 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. That gets overshadowed because of Quickley. Now, I didn't love the way Randle played last night. I got to be honest. Down the stretch, it ruined everything. It was pretty pathetic. But he gets a pass because he hit the game winner just 2 nights ago. I do want to bring a recurring issue up that we can overdo and talk about a lot on the show, but it's important. So when we return from break, I want to talk about something that the Knicks need to figure out. But let's head to break first. Be right back. BD4 is located on many different platforms. You can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, and if you do there, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and review. You can listen to it on Spotify, but you can also watch the podcast on both Spotify and YouTube. BD4 is available on many other platforms as well. All you got to do is search it up. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and much more. All right, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. You are listening to episode 488 of the podcast. And the Knicks are amazing. So, down the stretch, the offensive creativity, it has got to be better for the Knicks. It's so many things that just go stale, right? Like, we're talking ATO offense, inbounding, ISO Randle, and last night I thought not challenging that Josh Hart play was interesting, to say the least. But the shot clock violation in overtime. Overall, last night, the Knicks finished a 58-minute game with, I think, only 18 assists. Let me double check that because that sounds bad. But, it's, and I don't want to harp on this because they won a game. Everything feels great right now, but it's important to bring it up. Yeah, they had 18 assists. And I hammer it literally every episode because, we're going to make the playoffs this year. Knock on wood, right? And it's going to be important. The defense knows that when Randle puts the ball on the floor, they can bring help. Right? They can load up from the weak side and they can trap him. And they're doing that even more. It's exactly how you slow down the Knick offense because if they don't execute there, it's going to force turnovers, bad passes, a steal like we saw at the end of the fourth quarter, bad shots, an offensive foul, which we also saw last night with Randle, possessions late in the shot clock. It gets ugly. It gets ugly at times. And when Brunson's out there and he starts seeing those doubles, Randle's going to be the guy we kick it to. So it's going to be on him to make quicker reads, make the right pass, and get it out of his hands ASAP when he sees that helper come. And we just need to do a better job too. It's not only on Randle, but we need to do a better job of setting him up in the right spots. I mean, he had 7 turnovers last night. That's horrendous, but part of that is where he receives the ball on the floor in those moments. It's way too far out on the perimeter, way above the key, as if he's this wing with great ball handling skills. We're talking about a 6'9", 250-pounder here. It's an easy double that way. See, to me, if you're Thibodeau, you got to make it more of an emphasis to get Randle the ball in the pinch post on the elbow. That's a big problem. Because defenses, they read their scouting reports. When we lost to the Hawks that series 2 years ago, that was in front of the world. That's exactly how it worked. And I know we've got Brunson now, but they're going to double both of them. And on these inbound plays, we need to have our best passer, Brunson, which outside of Brunson, it's probably Quickley. We need to have that guy throwing the ball on the inbound. We had to burn a timeout. It was either the fourth quarter or overtime where we had to burn a timeout because Josh Hart couldn't find anybody. And then we also, the Knicks, they had that backcourt violation when RJ throws it wild to Randle. Right? So, and remember the other night against Miami, you got Brunson under the rim, trying to throw the ball out from underneath, and that ends up being a 5-second violation. So I also think it's on these guys to move off the basketball a lot more, the body movement. It's a theme you see often, but especially without Brunson. Guys aren't moving out there like they should on those inbounds. Go back and watch that Josh Hart inbound again. Like, I think we need to do a better job of that. Like what we did a few weeks ago. I forget which game it was. But the Knicks ran this stack play. They ran a stack offense where, that's basically an offense that utilizes screen actions and cuts. It's perfect for an inbound play. It creates quick hitting, scoring opportunities near the basket, near the outside. It gets guys moving out there, and it kind of throws off the defense. They ran it a few weeks back. I don't remember which game, but I remember seeing it, and I was like, wow, that's creativity you don't see. Tibbs opened up the playbook. So that's going to be something I watch because I'm a little concerned there. The ISO crap, it's got to go. It's got to go. And it got ugly with Randle in a few moments. So obviously Brunson being on the floor is going to help, but it's something I still think about because I know that's been one of our weaknesses down the stretch of games. But outside of that, again, I'm not trying to harp on that. Outside of that, I thought that and the free throw woes, which continue, I thought this was great stuff. I thought this was a wonderful win. Josh Hart gets the game ball off the bench. 10 points, 8 boards. He hit some key shots, played great defense. But this team, to me, they're just determined. They don't quit, ever. They don't quit. They are mentally tougher than a whole lot of teams in the league. And what they do is they find ways to win. One of the things I was worried about during this game was that if they lost, people would start making noise and creating this bullshit narrative that you kind of hear everywhere when teams lose their best guy, that they can't win without Brunson. As if they've gone all this way this season with just one player. So I'm very glad that they were able to crush that garbage narrative. And they're actually 3-2 on the season without him. So they've held their own. And they figured it out. And that right there is the story of this team. That's it. They figure it out. We'll all bitch. We'll moan. We'll complain. Everything. I'll do my bullshit on this meaningless podcast. But at the end of the day, we feel good because they figure it out and they win. They win. That's it. They win. So, sorry, I had somebody walk in here. I had to take care of some things. But, they win. Like, I have nothing else to say. I'm raising my hands. I've got nothing else to add. The New York Knicks they're winning basketball games. And that is, that's the way to do it. That's all that matters right now. So, it's just fun. I'm trying to take it day by day. This team there's something special brewing here in NYC. They have the potential to be the best Knicks team in my lifetime. I was born in 95, so I don't count. I wasn't old enough to really remember those years. I didn't even know what the Knicks were. But, they've obviously got to get it done in the playoffs. It's all about the playoffs from here. I understand 2021 happened in the first round, but this is a team I believe is a lot better than that team. I have a lot more confidence. I think the experience will help some of them. Randle, I think these guys are more developed. Brunson is here. Robinson's now healthy, and he's better than he's ever been. Josh Hart and Quentin Grimes are around. They're defending the wing. I think this team can be dangerous. Nobody wants the Knicks. Nobody's hoping for the Knicks because they're going to do everything they can to give you a hell of a battle, and they're not afraid of you. I think they have potential to win any playoff round against any team in the East except the Milwaukee Bucks, who I'm always going to be a little scared of. I think the Milwaukee Bucks have potential to sweep anybody in the East. But this Knicks team, the 29 other teams in the league outside Milwaukee, or the Eastern Conference is who we're focusing on. I don't have, like, I think we can defeat Cleveland. I think there's a possibility we can defeat the Celtics. Now, they can turn it up. They've got Tatum and Brown and superstar shine, and they just got to the finals. But it wouldn't be crazy to me if the Knicks, going into that series as the underdog, rightfully, it wouldn't be crazy if they found a way to win the fucking second round. But, you know, we're focusing on one day at a time, and it looks like the first round matchup could be Knicks Cleveland, and boy, that's a storyline that's perfect for this NBA, right? It's the NBA is hoping for that matchup. You get the whole Donovan Mitchell thing, and yeah, and I think they can do it. If that's going to be their matchup, I think they can do it. Obviously, I want the Knicks to keep chasing that 4th seed. I would love nothing more than to get that extra game at the Garden, because it's going to be lit come playoff time. But we're focusing on the now. It's been fun. So that's all I have. I don't have much to really add like I usually try and put in here. We could get into the specifics, talk about the way they ran offense more and the way they defended, which I thought was very good. But I don't really want to. I just want to soak it in right now. The Knicks win 9 in a row, have a real good chance to make it 10. They're playing a pretty terrible team in the Charlotte Hornets, who only have 25-26 wins. And remember, they're also without LaMelo Ball. So we'll see what happens. Let's get to our final break. Get back, wrap this up with our parlay and trivia, and that'll be that. Stay with us. Be right back. We also have a website now for BD4. If you go to BD4blog.com, you can find the blog, the podcast links, and also where to find me on social media. Just go to BD4blog.com. All right. Welcome back to the show. Let's wrap this up with our parlay, which we actually won last night. Let's wrap it up. Let's get to our RJ's Parlay segment. All right, welcome to RJ's Parlay, where my degenerate self breaks down tonight's big parlay. If I miss, it's not surprising. If I hit, I'll probably lose it all the next night, because that's how this works. Welcome to RJ's Parlay. This was last night's parlay on the Knick game. We had Randle. It was a 5-pick parlay for plus 142. Randle 20 plus points. 6+ rebounds, Barrett 15+ points, 1+ 3-pointer made, and then Grimes 1+ 3-pointer made. We cashed it. As we know. And also we're gonna get to this is kind of unrelated, but we're gonna get to UFC this week. So stay tuned for that, for sure. We're gonna get to UFC. Because that was a hell of a weekend. John Jones is back. Valentina, huge upset. Very disappointing. We're going to get to that card. We'll have at least a guest or two on too. So I'm very excited to put that out there. That I haven't recorded it yet, but I'll put that out there this week. We'll record it early this week, and it'll probably be posted late this week at the latest too. Let's get to our trivia question. All right, so for this episode, our NYY-NYK-MMA trivia question of the day for episode 488 is, in how many playoff series did the Knicks and Celtics meet in during the 1990s decade? I kind of read that awkwardly. Let me do that again. In how many playoff series did the Knicks and Celtics meet in during the 1990s decade? All right, so let me know the answer wherever you can reach me one final time. In how many playoff series did the Knicks and Celtics meet in during the 1990s decade? All right, so let me know the answer. If you get it correct, you get a shout out. But the Knicks keep winning. 9 in a row. Things look great. The vibes are immaculate, as the cool kids say. And I'll see you in the next episode. And again, look forward to a UFC episode this week. It's been a while since we did some MMA Saturday, so we'll do that. We'll talk about what happened this weekend, and that was amazing. But the Knicks, 39-27, 12 games above 500. So close to that 4th seed. We'll see what happens. They've got Charlotte next. Probably can afford to sit Brunson again. Just as a precaution, because this team is terrible. And the Knicks showed you last night. They just step up and find ways to win. Great job, Knicks. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, follow, download these episodes. Share this podcast if you want. I'll see you in the next one. Later. This episode was brought to you by Anchor.